taking down the plane, so yeah. I guess I don't know what you do. Rocking the windshield? Rocking the wheels. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's great. Charlie had
This is a guy.
Al, just hanging there. That is great. Let me jump off the bed. All right, buddy. We'll talk soon. That's great news, Charlie.
Right.
All right, Chief. Take care. We hope. Okay.
Right.
Here they come.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm trying to flash I apologize.
Guys, down. You.
Which one's here?
I'm here to interpret it. I'm here for the access. Oh, okay. Right here.
Chairman, where's the NTSB? Board member, is he here? NTSB? Did they make it down? Okay. Everybody ready? All right. A couple brief updates. There'll be some new information. There'll be a recitation of much of the same information that you've had before. Again, we continue with the search operation, but there's also a full investigation going on. You saw earlier the National Transportation Board, whose representatives are here, their personnel are on the ground. Again, any information I give you, unless we say that it is confirmed information, is still preliminary. There's an active investigation going on at the site. As you can see, I'm also joined by Pennsylvania's two senators in alphabetical order, Senator Bob Casey and Senator Pat Toomey. Chief Inspector Sullivan is here on behalf of the Police Department. Fire Commissioner Derek Sawyer is here on behalf of the Fire Department. Sam Phillips, of course, Director of Emergency Management Operations for the city. Deputy Mayor Everett Gillison for Public Safety. Rich Negrin, Managing Director and Deputy Mayor for Administration and Coordination. Desiree Peter-Campbell, Director of Communications. We will now announce, I know many of you have reported, but we will now confirm that unfortunately there are 7 individuals who are deceased as a result of the tragedy from last night's train derailment. Again, we have been assisted at an incredible level by Amtrak. Certainly, again, want to express appreciation to Board Chairman Kasia, as well as the board member from NTSB, Mr. Rumwald. We have begun the process, the ME's office rather, has started the process of notifying next of kin. I do not have any information on names of individuals, and I'm not in a position to release that information in any event, and I don't have it anyway. We just took another site visit with our two senators. We've given them a full briefing by all agencies at the table, letting them know what their role and responsibility is, but also we wanted them expressing our appreciation to both of them for being here. We wanted to make sure that they saw the scene as well. And so first I'm going to ask Sam Phillips to come up. We are still trying to get families information about their loved ones who may have been on that train and reunify them. After Sam, you'll hear from the two senators. I'll come back with some closing information, and then, as we've been doing, try to give you opportunity for question and answers for anything that we can answer. Sam?
Good afternoon. As we've been saying all day, we are in the process of reconciling several different collections of data points, working with our hospital system, working with our EMS transports, trying to account for those who we would consider walking wounded, those who were able to walk off the scene last night, those who visited our Friends and Relatives Center, which was at 3400 Frankfurt Avenue, and again, coordinating with the medical examiner's office as well. So we have made really good progress in accounting for the majority of individuals, but we still have folks that we would like to hear from. If you know of somebody who left the scene last night and is doing well, please have them call into Amtrak's 1-800 number. That's 1-800-523-9101. Again, 1-800-523-9101. We just want to make sure that we can account for everybody safely. The Friends and Relatives Center here up on Frankfurt Avenue has now closed. We've transitioned everything to Amtrak's Family Assistance Center, which is at the Marriott at 12th and Market Streets. So that is open as of 2 p.m. today. Thanks.
Before I bring the senators up, let me also recognize Judge Renee Caldwell Hughes, leader of the American Red Cross here in Philadelphia. Again, one of our partners in any of these efforts. I want to thank her and the American Red Cross, and of course the Salvation Army, which has also been on the ground and very helpful, and the great folks at Wawa have made enormous contributions to the first responder personnel with water and a variety of other necessary supplies, given the work that they are doing and helping them along in their work. First up will be Senator Bob Casey, then Senator Pat Toomey, and then I'll be back. Senator?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, thanks very much. We're here to offer our condolences and our prayers to the families of those who lost loved ones here, as well as to remember and to offer prayers and support to those who are still recovering, those who are injured. I want to commend the work of the mayor and the city officials, state officials, federal officials who were here, too numerous to name, but we're grateful for the work that they're doing under the most horrific of circumstances. And finally, Senator Toomey and I, after getting a briefing and a tour, of course, want to offer our help in any way that we can to be of assistance today, tomorrow, short term and long term. Senator Toomey.
Thank you, Senator Casey. This scene is a horrific and heartbreaking scene. And my prayers go out to the people who lost their lives in this terrible tragedy, to those who are injured, to all of their families. I also want to take a moment to express my appreciation to the first responders, the men and women of this city's police and fire forces who've responded with such professionalism. Mayor Nutter deserves a great deal of credit. He and his team have pulled together a very, very effective and well-coordinated effort that's included the federal as well as the city officials. So we appreciate what they're doing, and we wanted to express both our condolences and our appreciation for that effort. And as Senator Casey pointed out, a big part of my being here and his being here is to make sure that Mayor Nutter and the city of Philadelphia knows that if there's anything the federal government can be doing to help, we want to make sure it does that.
Senators Casey and Senator Toomey, thank you both. The response at the federal level has been tremendous here, and with that in mind, let me also report to you that shortly after the earlier press conference today, I had the honor and opportunity to speak directly with President Barack Obama, who called wanting to get on the ground information and facts. The president is very concerned about what has happened here, expressed his condolences as well, but also pledged the full support of the federal government and all of the agencies under the executive branch of the government. The president feels very saddened by what has happened, but he was tremendously supportive and encouraging of our efforts here on the ground, and for that, I want to say thank you to President Barack Obama for all of his leadership and support in these difficult and tragic times. With that, let me open to some questions for anything that we can answer. Please understand, if I can't answer a question, it's not because I don't want to tell you things, it's because I literally don't have the information, and we're not going to speculate on anything. Walt.
The search, for all intents and purposes, that here at this location is pretty much wrapping up at this point in terms of
I would not say that, Walt. The search is very, very active. Again, as we literally just left the scene, there are a significant number of personnel from the fire department, the police providing security, Amtrak personnel down on the tracks and now off the tracks because most of the train is actually off the tracks. We will not cease our efforts until we are absolutely sure that we've gone through every vehicle. The search area has actually been expanded. There was expanded search area last night, also with canine dogs because it was dark, and that search expanded this morning with officers and other personnel to look even further in case someone was possibly thrown from the train. So the search process is vigorous and active. What I'm going to ask you to do, I should have said this earlier, if you could literally just raise your hand, give me a little idea as to where you're from, and I'll try to get as many as I can. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
I'll come right back over.
From Pixel, London, New York City. There's a report out regarding speed saying the train was going 100 miles per hour and 50 miles per hour. Can you confirm or comment on regarding the speed of the train?
I cannot confirm anything like that, and I don't believe even that the NTSB would be in a position to confirm anything like that. They are still going through their investigatory process. As I mentioned earlier today, the event recorders, I think that's the official term for what we often euphemistically call the black box, they're in Wilmington, Delaware, being downloaded and analyzed. And so, again, let us please not try to speculate on what you could find out, in fact, in a couple of days. I understand the need for you to get out information, but let us not have our need to get out information overwhelm our good common sense to have accurate information out in the marketplace. So let's not speculate. I heard a voice over here.
Yeah, what about
Tommy.
Reports, what about reports that two trains, other than this train, were hit with foreign objects last night?
I don't have complete certainty about two trains. I'm aware of a report about one train that has nothing to do with this incident at all. Different place, different train, nothing to do with this tragedy here, and that may have been stones or rocks or something like that. Nothing to do with this particular incident. Back over here, yes, ma'am.
Hey, Baldwin with CNN.
Yes.
At the previous press conference, you had said that you believed that the conductor, the engineer, had been injured but was speaking with investigators. We would see reports that he's declined to give a statement. Can you help us out?
Yeah, well, first of all, I need to correct something that I said earlier. I think as kind of train-going folks, you often think of the conductor as the person who's in charge of the train or possibly even driving it. That's incorrect on my part. It's actually the engineer. So there's an engineer who actually drives the train, and the conductor deals with issues of ticketing and customers, et cetera, et cetera. So first, I was incorrect earlier when I described, when I gave information about the conductor, when I actually was talking about the engineer. The engineer was injured, received medical care, was then interviewed by the Philadelphia Police Department, and made whatever statement he may have made. I do not know what his statement is, and I'm not in a position to talk about that, and that's the normal protocol, process, and procedure. But his statement was given.
Mayor, Paul Wagner, Channel 5, Washington, D.C. Were any of the deceased children, juveniles?
I don't have any detailed information on the deceased, and again, I'm going to ask for your indulgence. I want you to, we all do what we do for a living, I get that. These are human lives, these are people with families, just like any of us out here. I do not want to get into descriptions about individuals when we know that families are still trying to figure out where their family member is. Were they on the train? Did they not get on the train? Were they injured? Were they walking wounded and never reported to us? So I don't have that level of detail on any of the individuals, the 7 now, that we've confirmed are deceased. Yes, sir.
From CBS News. Can you talk about these reports about surveillance video, security camera video that may have captured this crash?
I'm not sure what video you're talking about. I did see on one station, I don't want to disrespect anyone, it's a 3-letter station and 2 of the letters are the same. I saw on television some flashes of light, possibly from a resident's video on a camera on the back of their home. I could not figure out kind of what was going on in that, and I'm not aware of any other video being available or being observed.
Mayor.
Let me come over here. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Back to the engineer. Can you confirm with us that he is not talking to NTSB investigators, but may have talked to your police department?
It's my understanding from an earlier conversation, at least at this moment, that's actually not a part of the NTSB protocol under these circumstances. They are investigating the accident of a train. They are looking at tracks. They are downloading information from their event recorders. They are looking at where the curve was, trying to determine the point at which the train actually went off the tracks. And so that responsibility is actually left to local law enforcement in this particular case. So it's not a matter of NTSB not talking to this particular individual. It's not in their protocol for this moment. That is left to the local authorities. This gentleman's going to hurt himself if I don't...
Mayor, I wonder if you could
give me name and location.
Oh, Sergeant Dolan, WABC TV in New York.
Got it.
Have a general number of how many people are unaccounted for and what kind of progress you've made during the day in changing that number?
I'm not going to get into accounted for or unaccounted for. You know the details that I've given you and what I've confirmed. We have 7 individuals, unfortunately, who passed away. We treated or transported upwards of 200 plus individuals, and we have an estimate, which is not completely tight or confirmed, of about 240, I think I've said in previous pressers, 243 total individuals we believe were on the train. We are still comparing train manifests and hospital records and matching up individually pieces of information that we can glean. But again, people buy tickets and don't get on the train. Some Amtrak personnel trying to get from one place to the other may not have even had a ticket or have been identified as being on this particular train. So we're tediously trying to go through that, but I'm not going to get into the mathematical calculations of how many folks and how many did you transport and what happened to the people in between.
You were making progress.
Yes. If you want that answer, yes.
Mayor, Milady Nasir Univision, can you talk about the train control system? We heard that there were gaps out here in this corridor.
I have no information about that, and I'm not in any position to articulate on that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, last one.
But a lot of people in Philadelphia may be looking to our leaders in Washington about what your office is doing to prevent these kinds of disasters from happening.
Let me deal with that. So again, I'm going to ask for your understanding and your indulgence. We've suffered a tragedy here in our city. 7 people have died as a result of a train derailment, which is a very unusual event. I don't believe that anyone standing here today has any memory of a derailment of this kind in 50 years. And so what I'd ask your indulgence is that we not get into policy discussions or what if or what can you do or anything else. What we have to do today, what we have to stay focused on, every person out here, and the shifts and waves of people who are coming, is making sure that we are searching every car, every inch, every thousands of square feet to find or locate individuals who may have been on that train, or do the data comparison to make sure that we're servicing people. There'll be another day for policy and or politics. I'm asking that today not be that day, and that we respect the folks who have lost family members and those that we are still searching for. Last question.
Adam Reese, MSNBC, sir. If I could ask you, I know you don't want to speculate on the speed of the train, but if we could ask the president of Amtrak, what would be acceptable at this location in terms of speed? Right here,
we're not going to get into that. That's purely speculative, and you want to talk about what's the acceptable speed, and then somebody else wants to talk about it was going 100 miles an hour, and then we want to do the simple math to figure it out. It's just, that's not going to happen. This is really the last question. You know, you were in stereo, but I heard neither one of you. I doubt that the chairman of the board of Amtrak would have that kind of information. If we can get that information and are in a position to release it, we'll be glad to get back to you.
Mayor,
thank you. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Since you've seen it up close, could you give us a more thorough description of what people are, what it looks like, and what your investigators and what officers are seeing? To give us a sense of, without being indelicate.
I understand that, and I'll respond to that, and then I'm not taking any more questions at this moment. And for future briefings, we'll let you know. It'll probably be in a couple hours. I think, you know, last night when we first arrived on the scene, we knew it was bad. Lighting was not particularly good the first time we went there, but you could see just the devastation of a train. I ride the train on a regular basis. I've been on the 710 out of Washington, D.C., coming back to Philadelphia. I've been on, you know, I use Amtrak a lot. But to see these cars, these huge metal vehicles turned upside down, one basically almost split in half. Most of the cars either upside down, on their side, or tilting. The engine completely separated. You know that this is a devastating situation. But that was last night. And then a second visit, when we had more light, we brought in the light cannons. But to see it in the daytime is almost indescribable. It is painful, and it is amazing. It is incredible that so many people walked away from that scene last night. I saw people on this street behind us walking off of that train. And I don't know how that happened, but for the grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.